advertiser. The advertiser should say, I only want my stuff on this kind of video. And we're going to that model. I think the model...
That's cool. Like, I post a lot of cards. I don't really know anything about the guy, though, so I'm not going to be able to help you with that. Sorry.
That's eventually going to be embraced, at least in the United States, is going to be a broader Overton window on a lot of these platforms with more advertiser involvement, in which they say, we want to be on this video, but not on this video. We want to be on this kind of video, but not on this kind of video. That seems to be the direction that Elon is moving, and I think that's a good direction.
Speaking of Elon, if you're watching, please give me my account. I've been locked out of X for about 2 months now. Forgot my password and my email. Elon, if you'd like to come on the show, I'd love to discuss thoughts with you. I'd love to learn from your perspective. Please reach out to us.
Do you think that having Elon take over Twitter, make it X, is what made Mark Zuckerberg come out and admit, that they were censoring
lawsuits?
No, it wasn't even lawsuits. So I think that for Zuckerberg, he was in fact Musk doing that.
Okay.
I think suddenly Musk became, kind of like the avatar of free speech. And the truth is that if you look at the evolution of Zuckerberg, if you go back to 2019, Zuckerberg gave a speech at Georgetown University that sounds almost exactly like Elon today. He gave a speech at Georgetown where he talks about how Facebook was making it easier to do free speech and easier to have these conversations. He was very broad in his sort of perspective on what should be allowed and what should not be allowed. It was a very good speech, 2019 Georgetown speech. And then he got hit so hard in 2020 by the COVID lockdowns and by the government and by everybody who's pressuring him that he locked up super tight. When that happened, I think that, the blowback, I think number one, he didn't expect it. And number two, I think he sort of realized that he overstepped. And so now I think he's trying to get back and hopefully open up. I mean, I'm hoping that he'll open up Facebook a little bit. He's made some indicators that he may do this.
He looks different.
Yes. I mean, well,
he got his tan, he got his hair long, he's doing the mixed martial arts.
He's also getting older. I mean, he's got a couple of kids who are older now. And I think that he's starting to think less in terms of how do I build a successful business? I mean, he's one of the richest people on earth, and more in terms of what kind of legacy do I want to leave on issues like free speech.
So you think he's walking in the right direction?
If I had to, yeah, I mean, again, you're sort of reading tea leaves, but yes, I think that he's moving away from walking in the right direction. I think that's probably right. The speed with which he walks is, I think, open to question. I think that's
What about X? How do you feel about X?
Listen, I love that Elon bought it. I think that what Elon has done in opening up the spigots on free speech has been absolutely tremendous. Do they need a better way of handling blue check marks? Yes. Do they need a way to do they need a way to cleanse your timeline of sort of random junk? Absolutely. Does the algorithm of X tend to push toward emotional extremes? I think probably. I don't think that's pure X. I think that's true for virtually all of these platforms, because higher engagement just means you're more emotionally engaged, and that's where the emotivism comes in. But what he's done in terms of opening up the Overton window, allowing for conversations, allowing for the coverage of news stories that never would have been allowed before is great. Community Notes is an amazing feature. It's amazing. Community Notes is a genius thing that he's put in place. And I also, frankly, I kind of love that Elon is kind of freewheeling it. I kind of love that. I think it's more honest. I think that
it's a risk thing to do. That he's just Bruce Wayne at a different level.
Not just because he's letting it all hang out, but also because it's actually a more honest way to do the Overton window. So when you're in the Overton window, right? We talked about this with regard to our publication, but it's also true for a platform. So very often what you'll get from a lot of these publishers or a lot of these platforms is, we have a safety standard. It's very broadly worded, and then the algorithm handles it. It's that's bullshit. That's not true at all. It's not an algorithm. There's some 21-year-old intern who's decided they don't like a video, and they click the box, and now that video is banned or demonetized. And we all know that's happening. And
so you're crazy, dude.
And so you're hiding behind the algorithm. The algorithm is your all-purpose excuse for what's actually probably happening in the sausage-making process. And Elon is just making the sausage in plain sight. He's okay, so somebody
that's the most gangster thing I've ever seen.
And he's okay, so somebody's complaining that Alex Jones is not on the platform. Well, maybe I'll think about it. All right, maybe Alex Jones should be on the platform. Right? And then he'll be okay, well, yeah, I think Fuentes is a schmuck. I don't like anything he's saying, but also I am pretty committed to free speech, so maybe Fuentes should be here. Right? And then sometimes he'll be yeah, that guy's too much of an asshole. He needs to go. You know what? I respect that, because at least you're owning the thing. At least you're owning the thing.
He's very honest.
Well, again, in the same way, I'm not in the same category as Elon wealth-wise. one day I'll invent a space company, or a car company. But